Hey friends, join me as I cook by memory at Miss Penny's Favorite Foods. Hi everybody, this is Miss Penny with another one of Miss Penny's Favorite Things. And today we are making chicken and dumplings soup. And this is the beginning. This is my chicken. It is simmering in vegetables, celery, parsley, thyme, salt, pepper, sliced carrots, scallions. So it's simmering. It'll be simmering for another 45 minutes or so. After that, we'll come back and we'll show you how we finish up with the chicken and dumpling soup. All right, I'll be back. Okay, everybody, the chicken is done. It is cooling. The broth is simmering, and we're ready for our dumplings. Okay. We've got 2 cups of flour, all-purpose flour. And to that, I put in 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt, 1/8 of a teaspoon of adobo, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of onion powder. That's it. And a little bit of parsley. That's all you need for dumplings. A little salt, a little flour. If you want to put a little seasoning like onion powder or garlic powder or whatever in it, you certainly can. But all this really required is flour and salt and water. All right, so water, flour, and salt. And any extra flavorings you want to put in, totally welcome. Whatever you think you may want. But as long as you've got those 3 ingredients, you've got dumplings. All right, so we'll put in our water. And you just put enough in, you eyeball it, you put enough in for a dough. You're making a dough. And I probably used, so far, about 1/2 cup. I'm going to put a couple more tablespoons in there. I think that's going to do it for me for this 2 cups of flour. I mean, dumplings is the easiest thing you can make. Don't be intimidated by dumplings. Do not be intimidated. Okay, so you have some flour. Sprinkle some flour on your workspace. And then that's the way your dough is going to look. It's going to be a little bit wet. And if it's too wet, the flour that you're using to roll it in will absorb it. So if you need to add more flour when you're rolling it out, then use more flour. You're going to use probably at least 1/2 cup of flour anyhow to get it the way you want it. And the way you want it is slightly stiff. So you start out with a moist dough, and you end with a much drier, sturdier dough. So what you're doing is you're working that flour into your dough to get it the consistency that you want it. And you just keep adding flour until you get what you want. And you'll know it because you won't have any more wet spots in it. When it stops sticking to your hands, you know that you've got enough flour. Until then, add more and just play with your dough. Kids love this because they love dough. So you can always, let your kids help if you want. They would love to do it. And just teach them how to add more flour to get the dough right. And you just add until you get it where it is not sticky. It is not sticking to your hands. It is not sticking to your fingers, and it's not sticking to the surface of where you're rolling it out. And I probably use 3/4 of a cup of flour on my board and in my dough to get it where you want. And that's what you have to do. That's what you have to do. It is in the pasta family. Okay. So then you take your trusty rolling pin. And you roll it out. Now, if I was making just chicken and dumplings, regular, like I've done on the other video, I would make them, I'd start out the same way, just like this. But I would make them bigger, and I would make them a tiny bit thinner than I am for the soup. The soup, number one, it has to be there. And that's about, I don't know. It's not as thin as crust or of dumplings that you would have for chicken and dumplings. But it is a little bit thicker, but you can't make a mistake. Whether you get them too thin or a little bit too thick, they're still good dumplings. So you really can't mess up. The difference with these is you got to make them bite-sized. You got to make them bite-sized because it is soup. It is not. So you make little ones. You make little teeny ones. You make little ones. Little teeny ones, see? That's how you make them. So then, you open your boiling broth, and you drop them in. You just drop them all in. And they're about a half a teaspoon size. And you got to remember, this is a soup. This is not a stew. This is not chicken and dumplings. This is a chicken and dumpling soup. So you're going to have broth. You do not want to have so many dumplings that you don't have broth. And the good thing about the dumplings are, if you have some that are a little fatter, it doesn't matter. Put them in. Everything goes in. There's no bad dumpling. All right. So, these are the dumplings. And when I get through with these, I'll come back and I'll show you the final product. All right. Chicken and dumpling soup. Yum. Good day for it. Okay. I'll be back. Okay, everybody, this is the chicken and dumpling soup. It is done. As you can see, it's thick. You see the dumplings. Yes. So this is chicken and dumpling soup. At the very end, I put a dollop of sour cream in the pot so that my chicken broth turns creamy. But this is chicken and dumpling soup. Bon appetit. Enjoy. Thank you for watching. I love you all. And thank you so much for your support. All right. God bless. Bye-bye.